It's a typically busy morning down on the Northwestern Cycleway. Cyclists zoom by with the odd electric scooter and walker. A walking school bus was once in the mix, but this has been axed due to safety concerns. Ricky Tatena, principal at Newton Central School, has been fighting to get the cycleway upgraded and the wheels back on the school's walking bus for years. He says numerous crashes between students and cyclists led to the walking bus being canned.
We've actually had one or two children being hit. We've had members of our community that have had serious injuries. It's a really dangerous place, and bicycles and children don't mix.
He says consultation and planning has already been completed for the upgrade.
No one wants to have a child that gets hurt or injured, and this is an accident waiting to happen. In 2017, we worked closely with the Council and Auckland Transport. We're now in 2020, and the issue is getting bigger and bigger. You know, there is a strategy by Auckland Transport and Auckland Council to have more people commute through bikes. There is a real issue here that we're bottlenecking into a place, and it's just too dangerous.
A parent at the school, Phoebe Greenbrook-Hurled, says Auckland Transport has tried to educate cyclists about using their bell and giving children a wide berth. But she says this is not treating the root problem.
Unfortunately, all those fixes are just short term, and within a few months cyclist behaviour revert back. So we really need the cycleway to be broadened so that children can actively commute to school, so children are safe to walk, cycle and scoot while adults do their commute to work.
Phoebe Greenbrook-Hurled says adult cyclists are the main culprits.
We just found that adult cyclists would not slow down as they passed us. They would not ring their bells as they passed us, so that the children wouldn't know almost until the cyclists were on top of them. And then there didn't just seem to be a lot of understanding that children will do silly or slightly impulsive things, and so they wouldn't slow down as we needed to cross over the cycleway up to the bridge to get to school.
Another parent, Marcel Trump, does not see the problem going away.
As summer draws near, the amount of bikes are going to increase, so that's going to make it even more congested.
Carol Green, a spokesperson for Bike Auckland, says parts of the pathway are 20 years old and are not wide enough to handle the 1,000 trips that cyclists on the route rack up per day. She says cyclists are behaving well on the whole, but there is simply not enough space.
The most vulnerable users of any space should be the priority, so cyclists should be aware of pedestrians, should be careful around them, should give them enough passing space, should go slowly. And I think in general they're doing that. The fundamental problem is there's just not enough space for everybody.
She says people are keen to cycle or walk to work instead of driving, but they need a safe route. Phil Leach, who cycles from his Henderson home to work in Parnell, thinks speed limits could help make the cycleway safer for pedestrians.
It's really easy to go too fast, so perhaps a limit. Even if there's a limit like the road, we all sometimes break it, but at least we try and keep to it most of the time. And perhaps cyclists themselves could be a bit more informative of their actions if you're passing, to give some hand signals and things. Some of the guys that are pros you can tell do, but a lot of us sort of day riders, we don't.
Auckland Transport declined to be interviewed. But in a letter to Newton Central School, Auckland Transport's Rand Hurkama says the COVID-19 pandemic has put many projects reliant on funding on hold. Rand Hurkama says funding has been allocated for designing the cycleway. Construction will start when and if funding is available. Auckland Transport is planning to break the ground in July next year. Mō te hōtaka o te ahi nei, ko Jean Bau tēnei.